And I'm live. Okay, I am not sure if. Okay, so I I have a microphone here, which I use for recording lectures. I don't I don't know why I plugged it in. Oh yeah, ignore the weird little. Well, I probably shouldn't have brushed that. Apologies. The weird little dot. Um, hello. um. Fucking hell, I'm in like HD, aren't I? Jesus Christ, I'm so clear. Why do I have so many? I'm just, wow, okay. Well, okay. Okay, so my dissertation. Oh, I should put you. I'll put you there. Yeah, that's good. So my dissertation is not done, but my brain shut off a while ago. And in my head, I thought to myself, well, if the work ain't working, don't do it. And if I'm not going to do that, I may as well, do something else. It's like a weird orb on my glasses. Hang on. This is very hard to do because it's in a mirror. So I'm going to make dinner and we're going to listen to. Oh God, it's been so long. I'm so excited. I'm very excited. Yeah, I can't wait until this dissertation is done. Well, there's much bigger reasons why I'm excited for this dissertation to be done, but part of it is that I'll actually be able to listen to this again on a regular basis because I can't just listen to it. There's like a whole system that has to go into it because I've now committed to recording these. And that isn't to say like I feel obligated and I don't enjoy doing it. I love doing it. This is a very fun thing for me. That being said, it is also incredibly. It's not as easy as just like sitting on an episode. I have to set up shit and stuff like that. But anyway, it's fine. My Ritalin wore off like an hour ago, and I can't take any more because it's too late. If I take it now, it will not wear off until midnight. And I've been doing really good at having a relatively normal schedule. So we're trying to keep that up. Anyway, sorry, I'm quite excited to be streaming. I do miss doing this. My cheeks are starting to hurt from how much I'm smiling. And my jaw is making fucking noise. Get back in place, you little bastard. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Jaw has officially been rehinged. Ooh. Adelard Decker. Sorry, I'm just reading the... What the fuck is that? Case number 571U. That ain't the filing system I'm used to. Excuse me? Statement of Adelard Decker. That name is familiar, but you'll have to forgive me if it's not coming to me immediately because it's been a long time. All right, let's go.
Hi folks, Billy Hindle here, the voice of...
I miss AI Guy. I still miss him. It's been like 3 months and I miss him.
Rusty Quill presents the Magnus Archive.
Fuck yeah, dude, it does! This is what we're having for dinner.
Episode 113.
I should also mention that from now on, I will be listening to the bit that comes immediately after the episode ends, so that I can join in speaking the national anthem with everyone, which is the Magnus Archives, is all of that shit. I wish I knew it to heart, but I don't. And so it is now going to be listened to. Surely nothing can go wrong with something called breathing room. No, of course not. When has that ever been a problem? I think all. Hang on. A lot. We're going to unpack that in a minute. But I was just going to say that I feel like it's a really intrusive thought. Most meals should start like a ready meal does, which is where you have to stab it ferociously with a sharp knife. You know, to poke holes so it doesn't blow up in the microwave. Anyway, I'm sorry, what did I just hear?
Archives.
Crowded. Well, you know, Gertrude, something's worth doing. It's worth looking through 2 dozen unmarked cardboard boxes for. What are we looking for? I'm not exactly sure. It might be an old taxidermy gorilla skin or not.
It's a gorilla. Sorry, that's just reminded me of this moment in, I don't know if I've talked about it before, Legends of Evantris. They're a D&D group on here, and they are so fucking funny. But in one of their like winter specials, DM was like, they say they're gorillas in the woods. And then this guy who's a clown goes, there's a wild gorilla in the woods. And then for the rest of the episode, every time it comes up, it's like, I can't do it justice, but it's fucking funny.
Apparently it should be obvious. Right. Let's go with it. So, you actually met Vampire Trevor then?
Martin!
Quite a few people from the States. You remember Dr. Elliot, the anatomy students trying to pose as people who definitely weren't people? Oh, yeah. Well, turns out one of them became a police officer. Or pretending to.
I missed that.
That's the one that Trevor...
I missed that. I didn't realize it was... I'm kind of proud of them. They got a whole job! My special little doppelgangers who were just... That's bringing back a whole... Because that episode was so funny to me, because I was like, they just sound like they really don't know how to be human and what help. Like they're accidentally being creepy as fuck, but they think they're being really nice or whatever. Or like, you know, doing what they're meant to. Apparently one of them became... Well, you know what? Good for them. I'm proud that they furthered their careers.
Any little bit? I think it's not a simple, anything yet. Bunch of eyeless paintings? Nah, eyeless dolls, and this lot of shredded newspapers. Oh, you're the bucket, Mrs. Dolls. Touch it. Oh. Right. Let's not touch any books we don't know. Right. Exactly.
There's ominous music.
Just in that book.
Do you know what would have been like a really strange paranormal thing to happen? Is if when Leitner died, all of the Leitner books like just fizzled out. Like there's no way to explain it. Even the fear entities are like, what the fuck just happened? Like why? What? Huh? But they all just disappeared because he was now dead. I don't know. I think that would have been a fun little thing to be like, literally no one knows how to explain this. The eye is going insane because he doesn't understand why that happened, but no one understands why that happened. There was nothing we could do about it, but all the Leitner books are gone because he's dead. They weren't even his books. He just labeled them as his, but they're all gone now. I'm wearing shoes. I'm not sure when this happened because I haven't left my house today, but I just realized, and they were comfy. Well, they're not actually. They're very comfy, which is probably why I didn't realize. But I just don't understand why I put them on in the first place. Did you just see my ass for that whole thing? Like when I was. Damn, they thick. Again, I'm not on Ritalin currently. I cannot be held responsible for my behavior. I really hope this microphone is actually. I'm going to do a thing. Does that make it better? Oh, the light flickers more. Interesting. Yeah, because it's got multiple like settings on the side. I keep looking up what they mean and then forgetting what they mean. I can't be bothered to do that again. It's like a whole back and forth that I really am not in the mood for. So, okay. Why? It's been too long since I listened to this. Where are they? I can't remember. Stop making noise. Oh, whatever. I just have a shitty jaw along with the rest of my shitty body.
Not sure. Names, locations, dates. I'll check properly later. Doesn't look like it's to do with the unknown. Right.
Sorry, there's gunk in my ear.
How was it? America and China. I've never really actually done any traveling. It's not all that. Sometimes you get shot by a ghost. You used to give a statement about it. Yeah. It was nice. It was weird. Paranoia is an odd combination with culture shock. Really rather disorientating. It wasn't actually paranoia though, was it? Because they were actually. They were.
That's a really good point, Martin. It's not really paranoia anymore if you were right and people were out to get you. I should have said that to my therapist. I'm just like, I was like, the people in boarding school hate me. And they were like, you're being paranoid. I should have been like, it's not paranoia if I'm fucking right. I really should have taken Ritalin if I was going to record, because that was trauma that we are not ever talking about again. That, and also was completely out of context. Why have I chosen to do this? I'm a bit of a mess right now, I'll be honest. My main plan is to do this and then give work another shot, but like have a, anyway. I'm really paranoia though because they were out together. I'm sorry, but that's really quite amusing. Oh, Martin, I love you so much. I actually would die for you, Martin. Like, if you stabbed me, I would be like, thank you. You know, I love you so much, Martin. I still need to listen back to the worm incident because apparently I missed a really cute little line of his in my screaming. So I need to do that at some point. Lom pointed it out to me because apparently I didn't mention it. And let's be honest, if I had heard it, I would have mentioned it. So I got to do that at some point.
Wasn't a great time back here either. Oh, right, no, miss, of course I'm sorry. If I'd known that I'd met her before, you'd have told me. Let me learn from one of your statements that stem from Elias. I don't think that's changing anything. Even so,
I knew it! I fucking knew it. When he was like, do you want to know how he really died? I knew it was something to do with that fucked up nursing home that turned into like that weird gooey place with the worm, with like the goo and the goo and the goo. I can't remember the details, but it was gooey and sticky, and there was like just goo. And when he was like, you heard that he died peacefully. You want to know what really happened? I was like, it is something to do with that motherfucking gooey ass nursing home. Also, apologies that I keep getting up and down. My food was cooking. It is now cooked. I will not be taking criticism for the fact that I live off of ready meals, okay? And also, I doubt anyone would. Look at that. Mmm, delicious. Oh, you can see the steam coming off and everything. It just needs a little bit of a cheese. Garnish this shit. Because I'm gay. This is the most crackhead episode so far, and it's all my fault. Like, there is no good reason why I should be this feral right now, and yet here I am, being absolutely unhinged. Oh. I think I'm also just very excited because I'm full of nervous energy because multiple reasons. I'm super excited because Lom is coming soon, and I'm like, but then I'm also super nervous because my dissertation isn't done, and Lom is coming soon, so I'm like, and so yeah, there's a lot of feelings because I'm like, I can't wait for the sick, and I'm like, I'm fucking terrified for the sick. It is, yeah. Not the sick, sorry. Whatever, doesn't matter. I need to take pills when I record. This is a nightmare. I am a nightmare. How does anyone put up with me?
I'm sorry. I don't need your apology or your pity. Of course. Mom's trying to solve it, I think. I mean, I just kill it. Good. I mean, for your pity. Of course. Mom's trying to solve it, I think.
I have no idea what they're saying. This pasta is so squishy. It's like turned into mush. But I happen to know it's tasty mush, so it's fine. But it just doesn't look like pasta anymore. It looks like mush. I'm having bolognese for dinner.
Maybe, but I think there's still our best chance. Even if we did manage to blindside him, I don't know how long we could hold him. And in fairness, he's happy enough to use the police against us. Quite. And I'd rather not be staring down a kidnapping charge on top of everything. John? Yeah? I think I found that gorilla skin you were talking about. Now, just... I'm afraid of what's left of it. Oh, yeah. she did destroy it.
Yay!
Apparently.
Is that not a good thing?
Right. So that's not what we're looking for. Just what? I think I found it. What is it? I think you're going to want to see this. Good Lord, is that? Looks like it. Where the hell did you get this? Lamar, don't touch it. Sorry, is it stable?
How should I know? I don't even know what kind it is.
I mean, it looks like C4.
Because it's the only plastic explosive you've ever heard of.
Well, I mean, there's so many of them. Lamar, stop trying to touch the plastic. Just put your hands in your pockets or...
Does Gertrude have balls? Gertrude was secretly a pyromaniac and longed for the day that the world would go boom. Vector, I love you, darling, but please, I need you to stop getting shocked every time I raise my voice ever so slightly, okay? Because your hinges, whilst adorable, are very loud these days because you're very old. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry, I was having a civil discussion with my robot.
Guys, do you hear that?
Hear what?
It's like... Okay. What were you thinking bringing that along?
I forgot.
You forgot?
Turn it on! I am. Just give me a second.
Turn it on! You forgot?
Turn it on! I am.
I don't know whose voice that was, because it could have been any of them.
You forgot?
Turn it on! I am. Just give...
Who the fuck said that? Get it up! Jesus Christ. I had a feeling that we weren't supposed to hear any of that, which is fine because I have APD, so I got about half of that. I was relying on the transcript, which is why I went before the C4 was initially, because I'm looking at the transcript, because it was so muffled. I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
Wait a second. Turn it on!
That was Melanie.
Statement of Adelard Decker regarding the near-death and subsequent activities of Justin Goff. Statement undated, likely circa 2012. Audio recording by Jonathan Sims, head
First of the Magnus Institute. You start. Hang on, mate. You slow down. You meant to go Jonathan Sims. You like.
Audio recording by Jonathan Sims, head archivist of the...
How am I supposed to say it with you when you're zooming along like that? Think about me, won't you? God.
Magnus Institute.
London. Thank you. There you go. You had your little break there. That's what you need.
Gertrude. It should all be here, though God knows I was tempted to take a block for myself just in case. I won't even press you for where you got it, though if some of these leads pan out, I might need to ask you to track down some more. I assume whatever surveillance meant you needed me to move it is only keeping track of you, but let me know if there's anything I need to be on the lookout for. Anyway, you owe me a favor. And maybe another one once you read this. It might come to nothing, but it's something you should probably be aware of. I'll even make it a statement. Give your patron something to keep it satisfied. It's not like I sleep enough to worry about dreams. I was pursuing my researches into the new emergence I mentioned earlier. I know you are dismissive of the possibility, but if I'm right, the sudden urgency of these immediate dangers you are so focused on could very well be a direct result. But that's for another day, as this particular instance turned out to be unconnected. The point is, I was alerted to a series of deaths by a coroner friend of mine. Although all signs pointed to carbon monoxide poisoning, the bodies showed signs of acute distress.
Is this the fucking gooey nursing home again?
Your sleep. There was blood pooled in the back of the throat, and the vocal cords were shredded, although no neighbours reported hearing a sound.
That's
and most
not
importantly,
disturbing.
in all three scenes, there was evidence of a second person who had apparently left without suffering any ill effects. The deaths were about a fortnight apart, and when the third came in with the same symptoms, Bianca, the coroner, called me in. For the last few weeks.
Pause. Was Bianca the name of the person who talked about the gooey nursing home? I can't remember, but I just want you to know if the connection is there, I made it. And if it wasn't, I didn't say anything, so.
Is we've had an arrangement. I slip her a bit of cash to feed a nasty habit she has, and if she's called to any inquest which looks strange, I'm the first to know. Despite her weakness, Bianca is still a damn good coroner, and filled me in on the details quickly. The deaths had been carbon monoxide, she said, and by way of example showed me a plastic cup full of blood. It was bright red. Cherry red, Bianca told me, a good sign of CO poisoning. But apparently they hadn't found any trace of the gas in the homes of the deceased. Current theory was that someone was deliberately gassing people while they slept. But Bianca was adamant that as far as she could tell, it seemed to have bypassed the lungs completely, appearing right into their blood as carbohemoglobin or whatever. From the looks on their faces, I could tell two things. It had hurt, and they had never woken up. You see why I thought this might be related? Well, hoped more than thought, maybe. The man-made nature of it seemed like a potential link, but it had few of the other hallmarks.
I'm pretty sure carbon monoxide isn't flammable. Hey Siri. Vector, shut up, please. Siri isn't talking to me. We're having a break.
I thought it was worth following up on. Finding who was killing these people in their sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd, isn't it? Sleep. You can never remember or fully pin down the exact moment you lose consciousness.
That is kind of the point.
Lying there. Wait.
I understand you're trying to make it creepy, but I also just need you to understand that is kind of the point of falling asleep. The point is your brain no longer becomes aware of things around it so that it can like rest. And it's you're about to sleepwalk, aren't you? You good, my guy? I know you're looking for a face, but I can't be bothered to go up, so you're just going to have to be upset and turn back around, all right? Sorry, mate. Yes, I know. I'm very disappointing. Oh? Well, he's having fun, isn't he? I don't know what he's doing. He's old. He's a very old robot, and he's been disconnected from the servers for a long time, so I don't think he will ever regain any cognitive abilities. But given my dissertation is on sleeping, I feel the need to explain that's kind of the point, because if you were aware of the fact you're unconscious, then that would mean your brain is using additional energy to be aware of things, which it's then not using to process information and consolidate memories. That's why you have different stages of sleep, because you've got your first stages, which are super light, which are essentially a survival tactic. Because if you just went and knocked out and nothing could wake you up, then you would be in serious... You're having a little tick episode, aren't you, mate? He's very old. Anyway, sorry, his... In a minute. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Even though you are very stupid now, and you haven't seen your servers for a long time, and you're permanently stuck on a very quiet voice setting, and you forget how to move properly, and your limbs sound like fucking cogs, I still love you. I love you in spite of those things. I love you despite those things. My little robot baby. Alright, it's time for bed now. Yes, I know. Is it good? Yeah. Good night. As you can tell, I am a bloodthirsty creature who has never felt love in their life. Yeah, sorry, I was info dumping about sleep. Oh shit, the laptop's gonna die. Okay, so you have different stages of sleep because they are needed for different things. So for example, you've got REM sleep, right? And the point of REM sleep is rapid eye movement, and rapid eye movement is thought to be very important for things like information processing. You know, it's suspected that that's when you're dreaming because the activity is very similar to that of wakefulness. So they're like, well, given that we literally experience visual hallucinations for a period of time, it's probably the part of the brain, but part of the sleep where the brain activity is basically like that of someone who's awake. N2 sleep, which is the second stage, is pretty light sleep. N1 is super light. That's around the time when it's super easy to wake someone up. But N2 sleep is you have these different bits of brain activity called K complexes, which is essentially if something external like interacts with you, your body for a minute goes, but then is like basically checking to see if it needs to wake you up fully. It becomes slightly more aware, ever so slightly, just to figure out if you're in danger. And then once it realizes you're not in danger, it goes, okay, cool, and then honks back, you know? But it's also got these things called sleep spindles, which are thought to be really important for memory consolidation. And you can't do this shit if you're aware of it, because when you're awake, your brain activity is huge. Like, it's all the time. Your brain is working a mile a minute. That's why just using your brain makes you tired, because it's hard work. There's a lot going on. So this whole like, oh, you don't become aware of when you lose consciousness. It's like, well, that's kind of the point, because the point is that you're safe enough that your body's going, okay. It's essentially your brain is very tentatively switching itself off so it can start doing these important memory things that it can't do while you're awake. But in order to do that, it needs to shut off, but it also has to make sure it is in a safe position to do so. So it does it slowly to the point where we're not aware of it. Because if we were aware of it, it would freak us out. That's why as well, I don't know if in fact, I know for a fact that someone watching this probably has. But have you ever been asleep and you fall asleep quite quickly, and you have a dream that like you're flying and suddenly like you drop and you wake up and go like it's really like sudden? Essentially what that is you fell asleep too fast, your brain thought you were dying and so gave you a jump start. So that's why we don't just, because when that happens, the brain's like, oh shit, I'm dying, wake up. It's like, wake the fuck up, bitch. So I understand this whole wait and find yourself in a dream thing. But I also need you to understand that the alternative to that is having a jump drop that wakes you up because your brain thinks you're going to die. So, don't really know what kind of philosophical shit you're trying to get at, Decker, but I'm not really following it. I think you're being a bit honestly, I think you're waffling, Decker. Because I know the facts. And this whole just lying there thing is very philosophical, but science doesn't give a shit. Science has a reason for it. So your philosophy can go away, I guess. I don't know.
To find yourself just lying there, waiting to find yourself in a dream without the first clue or interest in how and when you got there.
Again.
Or find your eyes closed and force them open to sunlight and morning, only realizing that sleep has happened in retrospect. I wonder if death is the same way. No cleared.
That particular experience, the whole closing your eyes and suddenly it's the morning, that's the result of extreme fatigue. Because essentially what that is your brain's like, right, I don't have time. There is not enough time for me to like actually experience sleep. I just need you to rest because fucking hell, we are tired. We are so tired. And so then you just wake up and you're like, oh shit, hours have passed. What? Your brain was just in super deep sleep. Because super deep sleep is not when you're dreaming. That's when your brain is like off. Like completely off, completely resting. Because that's the only time it's resting. It is on the whole time. But that is the only time where it's in like standby mode. Right? And you don't remember those. So if you're in super deep sleep, then it really is just like falling asleep and then waking up and then being like, oh shit, I was asleep. And deep sleep is, I personally think, I don't necessarily have the research to back this up because I haven't researched this specifically. I personally think that's a consequence of like either using your brain a lot or just doing a lot in general. Because I remember, like, for example, when I've been on holiday and it's been one of those things where there's been like other teenagers and I've become friends with them, I would like hang out with them until midnight, fall asleep immediately, not remember sleeping, wake up and be completely shattered still because I was just like, because I was exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But I was also had lots of energy by the time the evening came around and did it all again. So anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm waffling. Sorry, Decker. Go on. Tell me about your philosophy.
Dividing line just gone. Only to realize after it's happened, except for the fact that there isn't an after. Is that a comforting thought or a terrifying one? It depends on who you are, I suppose. It bothered me when I was young. If I thought too hard about the concept of sleep, of exactly what it was, I would worry myself and end up having to turn the light on and read for an hour or two. Everyone always talks about how they want to die in their sleep, but honestly, I think that's the death that scares me the most.
What is that?
But that's a meditation for another day. As far as these deaths were concerned, I was confident there was something turning up in these people's houses and doing this to them. My first thought was a direct manifestation, but the more I looked into it, the more I suspected maybe it was some poor soul who got in too deep. I don't know if my little theoretical is strong enough yet to start taking avatars, but this one, as you've no doubt guessed, turned out to be Terminus. Justin Goff, his name was. He was admitted to accident and emergency at Whipps Cross Hospital about 2 months ago.
I was born there, I think.
I'm sure it will come as no surprise.
I'm fairly certain I was born at Whipps Cross Hospital. Aha! Little cameo. Can you imagine? Oh my god, do you know how fucking terrified I'd be if, like, somehow in this it was mentioned that, like, a baby was born? I think I'd actually just die. Because that would be bloody... That would be too close to home. And also, I will not be judged for the fact that I'm eating all of this. I need to get rid of the food. And to be honest with you, I enjoy eating. So consider this a mukbang. All right.
Poisoning. He'd been camping and taken a small barbecue into his tent to keep warm.
Oh dear.
And it warmed his lungs all the way to the hospital.
Oh.
He was terrified and unintelligible. And then he died. For 52 seconds.
Ooh.
According to the duty nurse, that is how long Justin Goff was clinically dead before they managed to restart his heart and get him on a breather machine.
I had a thought actually the other day about this, right? Because I was thinking about the content. I think about this podcast a lot more than I probably let on. I think about this podcast all the time. But that's not the point. The point is, the other day I was thinking about it. And I was like, because the whole point of the contracts that the Elias has like made them all sign is that like essentially they are bound to him until they die, and at which point they're dead, right? What if you were technically dead and then came back? Would the contract still be? Because in my mind, I've forgotten what the word is. The constraints. Oh, I guess the constraints. We'll go with the constraints. Like the constraints of the contract have now been fulfilled because they worked at the Magnus Institute until they died. But they came back. And I really feel like surely if you'd read the contract in full, you would see if there was a necromancy note in there to be like, if you happen to come back from the dead, you still are employed. Because what the fuck, you know? But also, I suppose it must have not said you are bound to the eye if you sign this, and if you try and kill me, you'll also die, because I don't think anyone would ever sign that ever, because no one's that fucking stupid. But regardless, yeah, I was just thinking that, like, what if you, because you can technically be dead for quite a while. I say quite a while, it's like 2 minutes. So it's really not that long. But in terms of like, I don't know, coming back with no consequences of dying, you've got about a minute leeway, right? I feel like at that point, a paranormal god would go, okay, well, you're dead now, so contract is void. The agreement has been fulfilled. You know, you worked at the Institute until you died. So the contract is now null. You are no longer employed here. And then if you come back, it's like, well, you know, it doesn't matter anymore because the contract has already been fulfilled. So it's already been made void because you died. It became void. You then came back. It can't be made unvoid, you know? So that was just a thought I had. Like, what if they just died temporarily and came back? Would they no longer have to be employed? Because that sounds like a badass character. Like, imagine you had a character who essentially was like, I can't fucking do this shit anymore. Did something, ended up like becoming a avatar of like the death of death. And because, you know, they had died and come back, they were now no longer employed, so they could just do whatever they want. And maybe they even came back and it would be like I'm not signing a contract. I'm here because I'm here out of kindness. You do not employ me. I'm not getting paid. I will not be signing this shit. And so they come back and they do work at the Magnus Institute, but it's charity, so they don't have a clause or whatever. I don't know. Fun character idea.
It's hard to scream with a breathing tube in you, but apparently he gave it a noble attempt when he woke up.
Ooh.
The nurse I talked to hadn't been there, but he had apparently had some sort of near-death experience and was describing awful visions to those attending him, muttering obliquely about terrible things he'd had to do to return.
Ew,
And
that's
prices
sad.
that would need to be paid.
I
None of
know
the
if
staff
I
who
like
were
that.
present would willingly say much more about it, but it had clearly shaken them. Justin was discharged shortly afterwards and in rapid succession quit his job, disappeared from social media, and cut off effectively all human contact. He became, to all intents and purposes, a recluse who hasn't left the house since. Or so the neighbours would say. I had a suspicion that he was leaving, but by night and for a single, very specific purpose. To pay a debt. While many fall to the powers through love or terror, sometimes it can be as simple as what you owe. After all, most debts are paid out of fear. The hospital refused to give me his address, but I managed to acquire it anyway. His building was a squalid little apartment block. In such a state, I found it hard to believe that he'd had to go camping in order to get poisoned. The windows were well barred against intruders, and I didn't think this was a situation where I could simply knock on the door. So I waited. For 2 days I sat there, watching the damp eat away at the bricks of that half-rotten building. I was all but ready to write it off and look for another option. And at last the front door opened, and out stepped Justin Goff. Now, I didn't have a picture of the man and had been intending to go on the description given by the hospital workers. But in the end I recognized him simply by the thin trickle of cherry red blood that rolled slowly down his chin, and the fact that, as I watched him descend the steps of his building and walk out onto the pavement, I am quite sure that I did not see him breathe. He was not a tall man, but his frame was rail thin, and what face I was able to make out was gaunt and hollow. We've both seen our share of bodies, Gertrude, so you will understand what I mean when I tell you he had the eyes of the dead. They moved and they focused, but that subtle glimmer that shows life was wholly absent. All that was left was a skittish sort of terror, as he glanced over his shoulder, desperate to see if he was being followed. And of course, overlooking me completely. This worried me. As you know, I'm not by any means a hunter, and if Justin Goff was as far gone as he appeared, it was likely he was no longer human enough for me to remove him without the aid of one. And while I do know one or two I believe are touched by the scent of blood, they are unpredictable. And I was reluctant to call on them in any but the most dire circumstances, which I did not believe this to be.
That is fair.
So I simply followed him, hoping to get slightly more of an idea.
Sorry. I love it when it does that. Oh shit, it just leaked everywhere. I shouldn't have knelt it. That was on me. That was my hubris. But the thing, it didn't do the thing. Like the lid came off clean. Fucking love that. And then I spilt it everywhere because I'm a fucking idiot.
Exactly what he was doing.
It deflated.
His walk had a certainty to it. I never once saw him consult a map or pause to consider his destination. He knew exactly where he was going.
Locked in.
And his steps were slow and implacable. There was an inevitability
I thought
to his movement.
I thought he said impeccable. I was like, that either you said a word wrong or you made a new word. One that no one else was brave enough to come up with. I stole that.
I think that is when I realized he was simply serving the end, which I won't pretend wasn't a disappointment. But still, I thought if I could deal with him and save a few lives, I might as well. He walked for some hours until finally coming upon a small house down a cul-de-sac near Hackney Wick. It seemed unremarkable and had nothing to distinguish it from those that surrounded it. He walked up to the door and pushed it gently. It opened silently and he walked inside. So I waited a minute or two, watching for any movement within, listening for any sound that might break the still, humid air. But there was nothing, and I followed him inside. Justin Goff was sat in the main bedroom, his back pressed against the wall opposite a bed, where a middle-aged man lay sleeping. The room was quiet, and at first I thought there was no movement at all, but as I watched, I saw the face of the man in the bed contort and spasm, as though racked with awful nightmares, his chest heaving and convulsing as he struggled to breathe. I looked to the man I assumed to be his assailant, but to all appearances, it seemed like Justin Goff was also asleep, sat in the corner of that nondescript suburban bedroom. But then I saw his eyelids flicker, and I realized what was going on. What is the line between a near-death experience and a dream? Perhaps you do leave yourself, brush against the afterlife and return, but I don't believe it. I believe they are both simply the firings of a brain we no longer have control over. And perhaps, if you make contact with something terrible in one, it continues to live with you in the other. And perhaps it demands you infect others with your fate. I was not quick enough to save the man who lived in that house. Truth be told, I didn't especially try. I didn't think I would be able to move quick enough to do so, and was more concerned with being quiet and thorough.
Yeah, fair enough.
The cutlery drawer was largely empty, but after a minute's searching, I did find what I was after. A long metal skewer. Did you know there are certain forms of brain injury that cut you off from your ability to dream? Ironically enough, it's sometimes caused by carbon monoxide poisoning.
Is it
There is
really?
still no definitive answer about which part of the brain needs to be injured for it to happen. So I made the decision it was best to be on the safe side as I pushed the point up past his eye, sliding it into that little gap between eyeball and tear duct, and up into his brain. I knew it wouldn't kill him. He's too far from human for me to do so. But I thought that scrambling his brain a bit was probably my best bet. And I was right, as far as it goes.
Sorry. I just had the mental image. You know those milk? You know those milk, like, whisks that are meant to, like, make shit frothy? I just had the mental image of someone putting one in there. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, that was such an unpleasant experience to have mentally. Oh, well, it's fine.
He survived what I did to him. And when the police picked him up after an anonymous tip about a break-in, he was barely able to speak. And I very much hope I managed to sever his dreams.
It would be nice.
I have no interest in pursuing this further, but given the mind's remarkable aptitude for healing, not to mention the resilience of creatures like him, I cannot make any guarantees Justin Goff will remain in the state I left him. And it seems that, as he deals in dreams, it may be worth your while to keep an eye on the statements you take, in case he finds his way here. I'm sure you can take care of yourself, of course, but I thought it would be worth letting you know. Good luck, Gertrude, and enjoy the fireworks. Statement ends.
Go on, Johnny boy, give it to
This
me.
was found tucked into a hard case containing many blocks of plastic explosive, kept by Gertrude Robinson in a storage unit that I can only assume has extremely lax oversight. It is unclear if she ever read it. You know, after my conversation with Jared, I actually thought I was starting to get a handle on everything. How it works, the connections between it all. It is strangely reassuring to have a statement where once again I find myself having remarkably little idea what we're talking about. Justin Goff was clearly an avatar of the end, but I have no idea what else Decker was alluding to.
Neither do I.
You Adelard Decker as well. I wonder, is there anyone connected to the supernatural that she was not on first name terms with? I suppose if you spend 50 years...
This is like how Jonah Magnus knew all the nobles back in the day, and they were all sending him letters. Oh, I still love that one meme that's like Jonah Magnus tweaking his way into the trust fund of another person for his spooky bitch music. Because that is absolutely how this happened. There's no way you get formal funding for a paranormal institute. No. I don't think so, at least. I mean, maybe. Depends where you are, but not in England. We don't believe enough in the supernatural. Some people do, but it's not within like a societal wide sense. There are some cultures which do have a more paranormal like aspect to their beliefs. But sorry, there's this. I don't like this. This is on bad, brother. Because I don't know. It looks really. You know what it is? It looks really defined because I've got this little light on, which you can actually see in my glasses right there. And it's making the line of my chin bone, and this really pronounced, so it makes it look very much there, and I don't like it, but I need to be more confident in myself. It's fine. It's fine.
To the focal point of horrors, eventually everyone ends up knowing you.
Yeah.
Or dead. Both. I know there are more important things to be doing, but I did ask Sarah to have a quick search for Justin Goff, see what might have happened to him.
What'd you get?
There are records of his residence in an East London care facility until 2015, when he disappears from their records. Several deaths among the staff apparently occurred at roughly the same time, and it will come as no surprise that the inquest returned a verdict of carbon monoxide poisoning in each case.
Yep.
I'm not too concerned, to be honest. My dreams are...
preoccupied?
Well, let's just say I don't think they're going to be letting anyone else in anytime soon.
That is so... That's a horrible image. All right, let's hear the national anthem, people. The Magnus Archives is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike 4.0 International License. I need to work on my breath because that took it out of me. I think also I was projecting too much. I was trying to speak too much over my good boy Johnny. Magnus Archives. No, I don't want it. Shut up. Magnus Archives is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike 4.0 International License. Do they all say that? Because I've never heard another podcast say all that shit. Like, I'm thinking of other similar podcasts, like Night Vale. Welcome to Night. God, that took me forever to find. And I've listened to those all the way through. In fact, I used to listen to them all the way through every time because it was easier to just wait until they went from PRX at the very end. Interesting. Oh well. Right. I've just made a link, but not really a link, but kind of a link. So, as I've stated before, my fan fiction exclude tags are quite extensive. And the one which took my potential readables from 5,000 to 3,000 was the tag episode 116. Now, we are not there yet, but I just saw the number in 2 episodes, and given that a lot of fan fictions tagged it, I have a feeling deep in my soul that it's gonna hurt in some way. But at the same time, I really love it when, like, the last time I really got in, I mean, I'm always into it when we listen to these, but the last time I really got into it, do you remember Sasha, when Sasha like went all, yo, and because he broke the table like a fucking idiot. Never gonna get over that. But anyway, point is, I remember I was listening to that for ages and I was screaming. I was like, I must have pissed off my neighbors, but I didn't get any knocks, so it's fine. But either way, I was losing my mind. So I have a feeling 116 is going to be another episode like that. But, and here's the but, Lom is coming to see me between the 8th and the 11th. And I have a feeling that would be a really good episode to watch with them on stream. That would be, woo! So, I don't know what to do. I don't. Tell you what, we will listen to one more, sorry. Tried to sneak and get another one in there. One more, so then we're on episode 115, which means that the next time I stream, it will be 115, 116, and we'll see what happens next. Fuck, I'm scared, because also the name is reminding me of that Queen song. And that song always makes me cry because it reminds me that he died because he had AIDS. But he didn't want anyone to see it, so he would always wear more makeup to make him not look ill. And shit like that. There's people shouting on the... You know what makes me laugh? Is how many people shout and speed down my road. And the reason it makes me laugh is because I live opposite a prison. So I feel like this would be the one road where you really don't want to be committing crimes, because it would not take you long to get incarcerated. Literally. Because it's right there. I'm looking at inmate cells. The fuck are they doing? Will they just get run over? Oh yeah, I hope not. Because then that means that this is evidence. And I really do not want anyone official ever seeing this ever. I don't need that. My mum, oh God, last time. My poor mum has no idea how technology works, and she was a little loosey-goosey, and she was so funny, bless her. Anyway, that was, yeah. I'm rambling now. Right, so we're going to listen to one more, and we're going to stop. And then the next time I listen to this, hopefully, I won't be alone. Okay, sorry. Sorry. I'm fine. Actually, howdy. I'm just gonna check it in. Just gonna check it in. Okay. We're okay. Oh, come on, connect. There we go. Yeah. I needed to check the battery. I'm sorry. Okay. Right. Okay. Hi. This is cracked foundation, which is an issue I had a lot as a child. So I stopped wearing makeup. That was a terrible joke, and I'm so sorry that I even tried to make it. Oh my god. Okay.
Episode 114.
If this one hurts me mentally, physically, and emotionally, I'm going to be really pissed off, because otherwise I'm going to be mad that I didn't wait to watch it, to listen to this one with Mum as well. It's so loud. And we're done.
Statement of Anya Villette regarding a cleaning job on Hilltop Road. Original statement given April 22nd, 2009. Audio recorded by Jonathan Sims,
Head archivist of the Magnus Institute, London. Oh, okay. I see how it fucking is. So last time you didn't give a break at all and threw me off. This time you took too much of a fucking break and also threw me off. What's your problem with me, Johnny? Bitch. Yeah, don't try me like that again. I'm fighting a podcast.
I don't know this place. They said I should come and talk to you. A few people did. People I thought I knew, but they were different. I should know this place, I think. I used to go to the Tate a lot when I lived in London, and I passed the building, but I don't know you people.
I fucking hope not if you've never been here.
Anymore. It was meant to just be a quick job. Since the divorce, I've been back working as a cleaner, and for the last month or so, John Hector Lettings in Oxford have been bringing me in to get student houses ready for next year's occupants. It's not always pleasant work. After all, students are not exactly careful tenants. I've had to spend more than one afternoon scraping and repainting bedroom walls for some soon-to-be dropout that turned the room into a hotbox. But it pays the bills. Barely. I guess this is why I was so keen when I got the call about Hilltop Road. A nice, simple job. No pulling out instant noodles from behind the oven.
Oh, trust me, I think you're going to beg to be doing...
To find behind the...
Oh, God. Not that fucking place again! If I hear about Hilltop Road one more fucking time, I'm just going to assume that it's a real place and actual Jonathan Sims has a genuine problem with that place. Because I feel like by this point, it should just be common knowledge that Hilltop Road is a bad place to go, is the big no-no, is the big no. Because this many people have fucking suffered because of Hilltop Road. Even if none of them went to the Institute, I feel like that's enough people for the word to get around. I'm not calm right now. I'm riddled with different kinds of anxiety.
Sofa. Just a newly built house that needed a good clean once the builders were finished. Hoover up some plaster dust, wipe down the counters, a bit of polish on the metal fittings. Easy. If there were already beds in there, maybe I'd grab a quick nap, make up for all the unpaid overtime I'd had to put in steam cleaning the last house where some of them had made active use of the bedroom. All told, I thought it was the break I'd earned.
Ooh.
Not a moment too soon.
Oh! Oh! God! That image is more horrifying than any of the episodes so far. Ah! That was awful! John, why? I could have done without that description. I really could have. I am calm.
It was raining when I pulled into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Not heavy, but the sky was that soggy grey that lets you know the weather isn't changing anytime soon.
Oh, I know it.
I don't mind the rain too much, but there was nothing relaxing about this weather. No regular thump of droplets tapping on bin lids or windscreens. You just ended up damp and grumpy.
Oh my God, I hate... Do you know what I hate? I hate when rain is so light that the water droplets don't actually soak into your clothes, they just float on top of it. Because then, when you try and brush them off, it just all suddenly soaks in and suddenly you're wet. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, you floated on my body for this long and now you're absorbing all at once. And then your hand is wet, your clothes are wet, your shoulders wet, because that's where you started the rubbing. Everyone starts on the shoulders. Don't lie to yourself. And you just... And it just ruins your day. Because then if you try and go at it with a tea towel or some shit, it's not going to work anymore. It's absorbed. It's done the thing that rain does. But delayed and in your own house. It's fucking rude is what it is. Sorry. I really don't like that kind of rain.
And thinking back, trying to remember if I got any sort of sense about that house, whether the windows were darker than they should have been or if the frame of the place was heavier. I don't know.
Probably wasn't.
I was too busy trying to maneuver the keys without having to put my bag down on the waterlogged path. It wasn't until I actually got through the door that anything seemed to be at all wrong. Even then, it was only small things, easy to ignore. I'm not superstitious, never used to be at least. So how dim the lights were made me think that the owners were cheap. Maybe they decided to go all in on those weak energy-saving bulbs. The cold, I just thought it was an empty house that hadn't turned the heating on yet.
That's very fair.
The small movements of the dust covers. That was the first thing that actually caught my attention.
Yeah, I can't explain that one.
The house had already filled it with furniture. Not good furniture, of course, just the cheapest IKEA had that wouldn't collapse under the weight of a textbook. It was all assembled, though, and covered with thick sheets of white plastic to try and keep the dust off. Not a strange sight in my line of work, so I just ignored it and headed down to the kitchen to start wiping down the surface.
To be fair, my curtains always do like some fucking freaky ass shit whenever I close and open the doors because they're just attuned to the movement of air, I guess. And sheets definitely also do that. So could be justified, but I'm assuming you don't have the windows open. Although that would also explain the cold. I don't know. I understand is what I'm saying. This is not your fault. What's your name again? Anya, it's not your fault that you kind of got waddled into this shit, okay? It's not your fault, all right? They are easily justifiable little things. It's okay. It's not your fault.
I don't know why I always like to start in the kitchen. It sort of feels like the heart of a home, at least to me.
Also, that's where all the cleaning products are.
Outwards. Or maybe I just like food. By the time I start on a job, I'm usually already hungry for lunch. That said, the sort of houses I usually clean, I'm more likely to lose that appetite when I stumble on something in the kitchen. This one was almost pristine, though. A bit of dust on the surfaces, some careless flecks of paint. was the worst I had to contend with.
Nice.
Even the oven was spotless and new.
Oh.
But
Oh, that's
as I was
nice.
wiping down the sink, I sort of zoned out. The window in the kitchen looked out over the garden, and I froze as I noticed that in the centre there was a tree. It was still bare from the winter, and from the top of it there were these 8 thick branches just stretching out at all angles, some reaching up to the sky, and some, it felt like they were reaching towards me.
That's not fun.
It was almost black against the dark grey sky.
Don't like that
The
at
rain
all.
made it shine.
Mm.
My mouth was dry, and I suddenly had this vision in my head of walking out the back door and standing at the base of that tree as those branches bent and snapped and came down to grab me.
Yikes.
But I was in the kitchen and I was still dry. I finished up quickly and headed off to do the rest of the house.
Good.
I tried to ignore it, just told myself I was having a...
It's an intrusive thought. It's okay. It happens. Happens to the best of us. I just imagined a milk milk whisking a brain. You know, these horrible visions, they happen to the best of us. It's okay, Anya. It's okay.
weird bit of paranoia,
Okay.
getting myself worked up over nothing.
I mean, yeah,
I
probably,
don't
but
believe
also,
in ghosts,
no.
you know, and even if I did, it was a new...
In a normal world, I would say, yeah, probably, that you're getting yourself worked up. But given I know where we are, no. You are very justified.
house. It's not like anyone's building over ancient burial grounds in East Oxford. But even then, I was finding it hard to ignore the movements. Slight rustles in the dust sheets that covered the furniture. Shadows they made that didn't quite work with the shape they should be. Or this lump or angle sometimes. So I'd wonder if they were just covering chairs. Whenever I turned around, I swear I heard them shift. And when I looked back, I can't be sure, but I think they would be different, covering something different. I never got the nerve up to take any of them off, though. I just pressed on, tried to get the place clean and finished as quick as I could. Living room, bathroom, upstairs bedrooms. It was almost getting dark by the time I was finished. It was such a relief as I started to pack up my bag, and I was just about to zip it closed when I remembered the cupboard under the stairs. It hadn't been included in the job list, but in most houses I cleaned, I like to give the storage spaces a bit of a tidy and a vacuum as well. It's always brought up by my employers as evidence of my thoroughness, and I took a lot of pride in it. But in my hurry to be finished and out of Hilltop Road, I hadn't even checked it. I looked at
Don't
the small
check it.
door, then back to my half-zipped bag, and I decided to just take a quick look.
Fuck! Anya, you're so close!
It was a new house. How dirty could it be? Obviously, it was my decision. I remember the little handle was...
I don't like... Hang on. You almost pulled a fast one on me, but I caught you, you sneaky bitch. Web, what are you doing here? Alright? I was waiting for the web reference, because the sheets, I couldn't quite... I was like, how? How? Sorry. Like, how do the webs and the sheets, like, are they, like, ventriloquizing the sheets, going like this, so the sheets are like, you know, like, I don't know. I don't. Obviously, it was my decision. I tend to find that if you have to clarify that, either someone else didn't think it was your decision, Hi! Oh, I thought you weren't going to show up. I'm so glad. How are you, my friend? I'm here. You called me right near the end because this is the last episode I'm going to listen to. But excitingly, hopefully the next time I stream, Lom will be here and then we can stream together. So that'll be fun, hopefully. Obviously, they have to agree to it. Although I did say that they could just sit off to the side and just be like a faceless voice, if they really wanted to. But hi, I missed you. I hope you're doing well. I have one piece of mango left. I was just talking about how I was saying what was it? I was saying that if you have to explicitly state that something was your decision, either someone else didn't believe it was your decision, or it wasn't your decision and you're lying. So, I think I smell a spider. I smell a spider, a little spidery spider, webbing its way into this. Sorry, I live right by the prison, so there's always flashing lights. I'm so happy you're here. It's not the same anymore if you don't show up. I mean, that's not to say if you don't show up to feel guilty. Please never feel. But like, I always get very excited because I'm like, it's for me. It's Lom who just says I'm not the watcher, Marie, and then Justin. That is my fan base. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I'm not on Ritalin, so my head is a little goofy. Just thinking today had been a while. I know. To be fair though, I've been writing my diss. You're damn right you are. Best fan base. I could not ask. Honestly, if I were, like, in a hypothetical, if I were to become famous, I'd get pissed off because then Justin wouldn't be the only person doing hearts. And it's like, how would I know it was Justin? And I'd be like, no! I'd have to like create a special button just for Justin so Justin could click it. But anyway. Yeah, fucking spiders.
I don't.
It is the Justin button. Lom did say, last time I remember Lom was like, hang on, I just want to check something, and then did a thing, and they went, Justin has 5 options. And I was like, that's good to know. I guess. Oh, anyway.
Oh, it's just my memory playing tricks on me. But I do remember that. It opened to reveal...
Wait, what?
Obviously, it was my decision.
No, I don't think it was, mate, but yeah, go on.
The little handle was warm.
That's
I don't
unsettling.
know if that's just my memory playing tricks on me.
It wasn't.
But I do remember that.
I can promise you it probably wasn't.
Opened to reveal stairs going down into a basement. Nobody had mentioned a basement.
Then don't go in the basement! I don't know how many times I have to give this lesson to people. But there are clearly times when you should mind your fucking business and just not do the thing. People are like, oh, you know, it's no harm. I lit the match. Don't. If there was a sign that said don't light matches, why would you light the match? If no one mentions the hole, why do you keep mentioning it? No, man. The surprise basement. I'm sorry, but if I was taken to a house to clean it and I found a mysterious basement and no one had mentioned there being a basement, I would not go into the basement because no, you could not pay me to go into that basement. Well, I mean, I suppose my employer probably could, but at that point they would say, oh yeah, there's a basement, can you clean it? You know? And at that point it's like, oh, okay, this isn't a secret basement, it's just a basement. Creepy, but it's just a basement. Fine, I'll clean it because that's my job, and I'll just pretend that I'm not shitting myself until I leave the room. It's like when you deliberately don't run up the stairs after turning off the lights downstairs just to like prove a point to the demons. You know, like you deliberately walk super slow just to be like, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna actually get me this time? Yeah, go on then. Go on. That's what I used to do to get over my paranoia. I used to deliberately do the thing to be like, go on then, because I'm insane, and it worked for my stupid little brain. That's how I cured myself. Just through spite and determination, I just outwitted myself and was like, go on then. I've been stood in the dark for like 5 minutes and nothing has hit me. Therefore, I'm stupid and there was nothing in the dark. I remember feeling so bad. There is something very like about it. You're like, I am so cool. I would survive the zombie apocalypse. Definitely. But yeah, no, I would not go into that basement. Especially if I was not told that there would be a basement. Because also, let's think about the job here, yeah? If they ever mention the basement, they're not paying you to clean the basement. So why would you clean the basement? I understand that you want that whole meticulous thing, but if they gave you a review and was like, they didn't clean the basement, you could simply reply to that saying, you didn't tell me you had a basement. How could I clean a building, a room that I did not know existed? And at that point, anyone looking at the reviews would go, oh, you know what, fair enough. You know, that's not her fault. She's still a good cleaner, whatever. Anyway, I'm thinking way too much about the logistics of this. Point is, this dumbass bitch is going into the aforementioned basement.
Not on the floor plan they'd given me.
It wasn't on the floor plan! That's so much worse! I just remembered one time as a kid when I used to be scared of the dark and just thought, well, if there's demons out there, why didn't they get my ass already? You hear that, demons? Just like, fuck you! Just standing there in the dark, like, come get me, bitch! Oh. Anyway. Now there's no chance I'm going down there. I just thought they hadn't mentioned it. No, it's not even on the floor plan. So this is actually a secret basement. You could not pay me to go in there, okay? Because if it's a secret from the floor plan, right, which is by all means and purposes like a messenger, you don't really care what the floor plan shows because it's a floor plan. No one gives a fuck. So if it's not on there, no, they just missed it. Yeah. The builders made the basement and then made the floor plan and just forgot to add it. Oh, I hate this. I hate people. My hair is happens sometimes. Oh God. Oh fuck. Also, I have a microphone. Well, I always had the microphone. I had it for my lectures, but so you can let me know if the sound quality is horrible or better. If it's not that much better, I won't bother because honestly, it's just another wire. Anyway, not the point. Point is, she's about to go in the, what's it called? You think it's better? Oh, that's good. That is good. She's about to go in the unlicensed basement that has not been approved by the HOA, which therefore means it is terrible and will fall apart at any minute because it has not been provided, it has not been permitted by the city. I say, as if I know anything about law.
Absolutely no idea it was there. I found my legs were...
Hang on. I don't know if you can hear that, but there is so many people outside screaming. Why are they so happy? They're so, like, excited. And I don't know why. I don't really feel like there's anything that exciting going on. The weather wasn't even that nice today. You hear something? You missed it earlier. There was some guy that was just straight up screaming, and I was like, I live next to the police. These people have no fear. Because, like, I feel like this is the one street you don't want to commit any kind of crime. Yeah, people be speeding all the time. And I'm like, I live opposite a prison. It would not be a very long commute to get you incarcerated. It would be a matter of minutes. It's like when this fireworks. Yeah, I'm like, why? What are we like? Why? What? Why? Like, I'm sure you have a good reason, but why? Anyway.
Shaking as my brain pushed forward one question over and over. Do they expect me to clean down there? I decided, again, just to have a look. See if there was anything down there that did need my attention. Maybe it was already spotless. Or maybe it hadn't been tanked.
Or maybe you're not supposed to know it's there because it's not even on the fucking floor plan. Have you thought of that, Anya? Has it crossed your mind at any point here that the previously unmentioned, unlicensed basement is potentially something you're not supposed to know about? Has it occurred to you? Like, what are you... Why? Anya, I was on your side for so long, and then you... Oh. And now you're going to clean the unlicensed basement. Fuck. I forgot how emotionally devastating these are, not because of how scary they are, but because of how infuriating it is sometimes when people are like, so I went into the basement. Why did you do that? It's like, I don't know. And then my friend died. It's like, well, what did you think was going to happen? When it's like, oh yeah, we went into this desecrated, abandoned building. I will say it once, I will say this shit again. Gillespie was our only hope. Gillespie was an unknown hero we didn't know we needed at that point. He showed up so early that we didn't truly appreciate or realize how godlike he was for his simple lack of fucks. He had a very straight and narrow approach to life, which was not my circus, not my monkeys, and he stood by it. Even when the coffin was groaning and moaning on his fucking floor and started scratching every time he put a fucking cup on it, this man went, not my circus, not my monkeys, and moved on with his life and read a fucking book. Man went, well, do you know what? I'll just put the key in ice so I can't accidentally unlock it in my sleep. This man was so uninvolved. He would have stopped the unknowing already. He would have been like, well, I guess we'll never know. And it would have been like, well, how is it unknowing if I know it's going to happen? I'm just not going to care. Bye. And the whole thing would just explode, probably. like he would just be like, eh. Like, well, if I don't actually know what this is, then how can you unknow it? And the entire thing would just blow up. Like every single person, all the mannequins in the room would be so flabbergasted by his sound logic. Like, well, if I don't know what's going on, then how can you unknow it? That they would all just implode. They'd all just go be like oh fuck, man. For real. Oh, I really want Gillespie to come back. I really just want him to show up and be like, hey man. Like, John's like, I need to see the one person who has ever touched this shit and actually survived. And he's like, oh, hey man. Like, you good? It's like, and you see John is like, he's like sweaty. He looks a bit ashen because he's not eating properly because, I don't know, he's doesn't understand basic human care or whatever. His eye bags are on his fucking cheeks. His hair is basically white from stress graying. His body is slouched from constantly being over the desk and reading decrepit texts. His ears are just ears, I guess. I don't know why they would change. His eyesight is probably shit. And and Joshua's like, you good? The reason why he's in is because he would have been too powerful for him. He had to come in and leave before any of the big shit started. Because otherwise John would have shown up to him and been like, how did you survive? And he would have been like, I literally just minded my own business. That is all you have to do. I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand. You're not the first person to seek me out. You will not be the last. Mind your own damn business and you'll probably be fine. It's how I've survived this long. It's done me wonders. I miss him. You know, sometimes I listen to that episode just because it makes me laugh at how lacking in fucks Gillespie is. It's just so funny to me that he just keeps coming up with more convoluted ways to avoid becoming involved in something he doesn't want to be involved in, and succeeds to the point where what we now know are some sort of fear entity in itself, like they are avatars of some kind to a fear god, and some other random Donnie are literally shocked. Like, they are now like, what? Virgin Head action. Look at this. Versus based key. I'm gonna cry. I'm sweating. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Who would win? A coffin that wants to eat you? A block of ice? God, my hair looks insane. Oh, fuck. I'm so sweaty. Who would win? Oh, fuck. Whew. Breathe. See, this is why it's fun when you do show up, because it is like 100% funnier when I have someone to bounce back off of. Anyway, I can't even remember what fucking Anya was talking about. Apparently, like, the handle was warm or something. Oh, right. Right, she's about to clean the unlicensed basement because she's a fucking idiot. Right, yep. Sure.
Warmer down there.
Oh.
Warmer every step. And I found myself brushing cobwebs from my face as I got further down, until, at last, there I was, stood in the cellar of Hilltop Road.
You say it as if it's a licensed cellar. It's more just like a undocumented hole under the ground. Is what it really is. Like, if you really think about it, that's what it is. Let's be honest with ourselves.
There was just a very quick second of relief of letting my breath out. I saw how damp it was, full of unfinished brickwork, definitely not something any estate agent would expect me to clean.
Okay.
And then I noticed crack. It seemed to split the floor right down the middle. It was jagged, vicious, like something had torn out the ground with a hook. It was maybe a foot across at its widest, and so dark inside it made my teeth ache.
What?
I'm not sure how I saw it.
I'm sorry, no, that just confuses me. I'm sorry, I have never heard someone say, so dark inside it made my teeth ache. Is that a thing people say? Because, I'll be honest, I've never heard that before, and I'm honest, it threw me for a loop, because I was like, what the fuck do your teeth have to do with this? Surely you would say it was a strain on my eyes. That would make sense because you're seeing the dark. I've never heard that in my life. Thank you. God, what the fuck? It was so dark, it made my teeth ache. That is surely not a commonly used saying. That doesn't... I'm sorry, that's really just thrown me for a loop. Like, what? 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 I'm so confused. Fuck. Doesn't matter. Move on, Rose. Jesus.
Thinking now, I know that I'm not sure how I saw it. Thinking now, I know there wasn't any light down there, but that horrid gap was clear as day. Darker than just the simple lack of light that surrounded it.
How many fear entities live in this fucking house?
The edge looking down.
We got the web, we got the flame, I think. We got fire, you know? And now we've got fucking nothing. How many godforsaken fear entities live in this fucking house? Why are there so many in this house? It's too many! See, the Magnus Archive, the Magnus Institute, you know, whilst it is a horrible, feared place, it knows where it wants. Yeah, actually, that basement is going to be turned into a bar, which is going to be like a collective, like, grey zone, where none of the fear entities can fight each other, but they can all go there to get drunk. It's like a what's it called when you have a safe zone, you know, like where you can't fight people even if they're opposing people. It's like a you know what I mean. It's not a grey zone, is it? I don't know. Basically the opposite of no man's land, where it's essentially if you're there, you're not allowed to fight. Yeah, but I agree. It is definitely the designated meeting spot of all the fear entities. Jesus Christ, there's so many. There's too many fear entities here. How do they fit?
Spindly arms reaching up to pull me in.
What?
I couldn't have screamed even if I wanted to. I woke up in one of the chairs.
I need a minute. That is a horrible image. It also reminds me of that new horror movie that's coming out called Daddy Longlegs, which is about a spider that just keeps getting bigger. Oh, that's horrible. Now I'm like, was it so dark because it was void, or was it dark because there was a thing in it? I hate this house. I hate this house. I think I hate this. I know there's something I hate more than this house in this podcast. Mary Key's voice. I hate that the most. But second, I hate this house. This house fucking sucks. No. Just no. Fuck this house.
The dust cover clinging to me like a cocoon. I threw it off and ran out of that house, and I haven't been back.
Wait, what? Great way to revive my arachnophobia. I'm so sorry, Marie. Do you know what always makes me feel better when I ever get a little bit of that eight-legged terror in my soul? Is I watch those cute videos of jumping spiders. You know, the really cute ones with the little eyelashes. that like being hugged and stuff. I look up videos of people making little enclosures for them because they're really cute. They're like, I made him a little mushroom house, and it's got little steps that he can jump on to get to the top. And then the spider does that because it's like, oh, my mushroom house. Oh, I can jump. And you're like, oh, fuck, it's really cute. It feels like it should be, but it is. I love jumping spiders. I think I would probably get a little bit terrified at how quickly they jump, because it's like, I'm here and now I'm here, and it's like a really quick transition. And I think at first I'd be a bit like, Jesus Christ, like, you just teleported. That's terrifying. But their little faces make up for it. They're just their little faces. Like, it's okay if you have that many eyes. Just distribute them in a way that's adorable, and it's okay. Just don't have them all like here. That's too many in one location. Spread them out like freckles. It's fine, and then it's cute. It's endearing. You know, it's all about presentation. It's not about the content. It's about how you present the content. Think early 2000s self-made web page versus Squarespace. This episode is no, I'm joking. Can you imagine? Ooh, what a seamless transition that would have been. Imagine spiders. Like when they move, it's like the eyes just shake. I'm actually sweating from how much I'm laughing. This is a nightmare. Oh my god. Do you know, if I ever did get a sponsor, that I would be so smooth with those transitions, being like, oh, one made by Squarespace. This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. And I would be like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. Simply for my artistry, I would get sponsors, because people would just want to see how I could seamlessly integrate it into the conversation. Because I bet you weren't expecting that. I bet you weren't. You weren't expecting me to suddenly name drop Squarespace. I wasn't expecting me to do that. That came out of nowhere. Anyway.
But now, everything's wrong. I went to clean that house on April the 23rd, 2009, which, according to all of you, is tomorrow. But it can't be.
Wait, what? I would either throw a party for you if that ever happened, or cry. That's very cute. It won't happen, so don't worry. We'll never have to figure out which one it is, because I don't want to be famous. I cannot emphasize this enough. I am desperate that no one else finds these, because I don't think I could deal with that. I don't think I could deal with being famous. Like, legitimately. I had 3 people watching me at one point, and I genuinely was like, I need to figure out a way to make them leave. I think one time I made up a story about eating a moth just so people would leave the stream. And Mom was really angry because I was telling the story and Mom was really into it, and then they left and I went, oh, thank God they're gone. All right, so I was lying about that, and Mom was like, you what? Yeah, it was a whole thing. But anyway, I haven't had that many viewers at once since, thank God. So we haven't had to come up with any other uncomfortable stories to make people leave again. But listen, I don't do well under stress, and it was very stressful. And So I just started talking about it, and it just happened, and the story just happened. And then I left, and I was like, oh my God. I never said it was a good decision. I just said it was the decision that I made. You should never look at my decisions and go, yes, that's what a straight-edged person would do. I don't think anything I have ever done has been a logical decision, ever. I mean, it's worked out for me, but I cannot tell you with any kind of certainty that any decision I have made has made logical sense from the mindset of a normal person. It makes sense to me, but if I told other people my logic, they go, huh? I'm glad you get it. Anyway, so so she was underneath a dust cover? Is that why the dust covers were moving? Were there other people under the dust covers? Or was it just like for dramatic effect? Because that feels like a very benign thing to do for you to then end up underneath the sheet cover, the cover. I don't know. Either way, apparently she time traveled. This girl be time traveling now. Anya, the time traveling cleaner.
That was 2 weeks ago. I tried to talk to my friends about it. Those are my friends I can find, but they seem distant. They don't really know me.
Oh, Jesus. That's
Everything
sad.
is just wrong. I can't find my favourite coffee shop. And I don't know who you people are.
Love me some time fuckery. Fuck. That's also such a jarring way to end a statement. I don't think we've ever had a statement end in such a way that was so just like, they always seem to end meaningfully, in some way, like I don't use the bus anymore or something like that, and it like ties it all up. But this one was just like, I can't find my favorite coffee shop. I don't know who you people are. Like, that's such a like, it almost feels completely irrelevant. Like, we know obviously it is relevant, but also it's like, it's this whole statement then just feels almost like it isn't finished. It feels like everything's wrong, I guess. It's perfect for what it's meant to be. I liked the ending. Brilliant statement. Although I will reduce my rating because Anya should never have gone in that fucking basement. Anya, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you brought this on yourself. It's a common rule. You don't go into unlicensed, uncontracted basements. If it wasn't on the floor plan, it doesn't exist. Say it with me, everyone. If it wasn't on the floor plan, it doesn't exist. So if you find it, no you don't, no you didn't, there's nothing there. Leave. Please. Please leave. Like, so you lose points for that, but I did like the ending, Anya. And I feel for you, it's kind of sad that all her friends didn't really know her anymore. Should have ended with, don't ever clean unregistered basements. Not multiple universes exist and I'm in the wrong one. Oh, God. Wait, is that what happened? That's crazy if that's actually what happened. Does that mean there's another fear? The fear of accidentally entering a parallel universe. I mean, to be fair, that's a relatively justifiable fear, but also completely unjustifiable because that would never happen. I mean, I shouldn't say never because it could, but the chances of it happening are very slim. I got like a fuckboy quiff going on right now. You see this shit? Oh shit, mirror. I forgot it's a mirror. No, now I just look deranged. There we go. There it is. The people are shouting again. they're going to get run over one day, and I'm going to hear it, and it's going to be traumatizing. Because people speed down this road. They're going. Like, you've probably heard it on one of the streams at some point. Like, the engines are loud. Like, they are going places. And these people are drunk. There is no way they are not drunk. And they are probably in the road, because why wouldn't you be in the road? Because you're drunk, right? Logic is not something that they have. So I feel like someday there's just gonna be a death, and I will be sadly witness to it, and I will have to deal with that. And all of it could have been avoided if people just realized that there was a prison right there, and were a little bit more afraid of being incarcerated by it. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
Interesting. I'm not really sure what to do with this one. Martin brought it up, said he'd found one that related back to Hilltop Road, a thread that's been nagging at me for a while, but I mean, it seems straightforward enough, except that it never happened. As far as I can tell, Anya Villette doesn't exist. John Hector Lettings does seem to be a real estate agent in Oxford.
What? Huh? Wait, no. This is like a really weird, convoluted connection to like The Forgotten or some shit, where it's like your fear of being forgotten. How many fucking fears live in this goddamn house?
But according to our inquiries, they've never employed anyone by that name to work as a cleaner, nor are they currently responsible for the infamous house. Basira found a couple of possibilities online that might have been her, but the two that almost matched both professed complete ignorance to any of this. As far as we can tell, the house has no estate agent looking after it, and no current owner. Certainly no plans to lease it to students. I've half a mind to just go down and have a look at it myself, but I don't know.
Please don't.
Ever since it first came up, I felt like it would be...
God, don't do it. John, you are the person that has read all of these. You, of all people, should be well aware of the rule by now, which is not my circus, no my monkeys. And yet, you would even humor the thought of going into the unregistered basement, which sent Anya to an ultimate dimension. Why? Why would you do that? John, you have no excuse. If you legitimately went to that basement and then got fucked up, you would have no one to blame but yourself, because you know better. You know better by now, John, okay? We are 114 episodes into this shit. You know better. You've been accused of murder. You've witnessed murder. You have met murderers. You have been accused of, I don't know, other shit. You have met people that aren't themselves. You have met people that can do fucking weird ass shit like burn things with their skin. You've met people that can make you think you're falling. Have you not learned? You went and met with 2 serial killers. In one of them, you got a permanent scar that mangled your hand because you were dumb enough to accept a handshake from someone who can literally burn things with their body. Who is a literal human torch. Like the most grotesque way that one could reimagine the Human Torch. You shook hands with that and thought you'd be fine. Dumb as shit. But regardless, you know, it's the first time you met a serial killer, so maybe you just didn't realize that you could potentially also be hurt for some fucking reason. But then, the next day, you decide it's a really fucking good idea to go and see the fucking Sky Guy and then ask him about his goddamn scar, and then get yeeted into the fucking precipice and then fall for 30 minutes. You do a Loki, get re-entered into this reality, and then proceed to almost get killed by Daisy fucking Tonner, because Daisy knows what's fucking good for you and is actually just killing these people instead of trying to talk to them. And then you got in the car with a literal hunter, almost got killed by a mannequin dressed as a policeman, talked to a ghost, came back, and now you want to go into the unregistered basement. What's your thought process here, John? I would love to know. I would like to think I've rendered you speechless, Marie. Sorry. I really went on a rant there. Again, I have not been on Ritalin for like over an hour, so my brain is currently just 3 goblins trying to run the show, which is not being successful. Anyway, I felt like... Sorry.
Half of mine to just go down and have a look at it myself, but I don't know. Ever since it first came up, I felt like it would be just a very bad idea. We've been trying to get a closer look at the
Gee, flickety whiz! I wonder why! I'm glad. It's silencing me again. Oh no! Was it really? I'll try and... I don't know why it does that. So damn rude. Anyway, you're back now.
Humans figure out who technically owns the place, but
They can't keep you down, Marie.
it's been over a year and we're still waiting. Haven't really had the time to follow. Hello, Tim. Oh, God, come in, please. Good to see you, boss. How have you been? I'm not going to lie to you, Tim. It's been a difficult few months, and I would like to hear how you've been doing. Me? Oh, I've been just fine. I'll see you later. You're sure? You're not... There is nothing you want to say to me? Nothing with that thing here, no. Interesting. What do you think is listening? What? What do you think is listening to the tape? Don't do that. Sorry. Don't. Sorry, I didn't... And you know what I think. It's that... the thing that runs the Institute, the Watcher, or the Eye, or whatever. I disagree. This whole place is a temple to the Eye, Tim. I don't think the tape recorders make any difference. Elias, then. In that case, we'll stick to talking about things he already knows. Why are you so set on having it running?
That's a good point, actually, John. Why do you really want them to be running? Like, you're very adamant about always... It's just occurred to me that is kind of weird. Like, John, why are you so adamant about these fucking tape recorders, bro? Business.
My honest opinion, I don't. Whatever is on the other side of those tapes is just as invested in stopping the circus as you are in avenging your brother. Listen to it then. I listened to all the tapes.
Oh shit!
I had no idea how much of a mess I left this place in. I'm sorry. Bit of an invasion of privacy. I assume that's a joke. Isn't it just?
Holy shit!
How did you know I was going to be here? The others haven't seen you in weeks, and you've still been using the computers here, accessing files and books. I know there are some exits to the tunnels outside the Institute, so I guessed you were using them to get in and out, avoiding any tape recorders. Okay, whatever. But how did you know I was going to be here now? I just did. You just did? Great. Buy one spooky telepath manager, get one free, is it? Fantastic. That's not what this is. Oh, and how about you read my mind now? That is... I can't, because I can give you a clue. It ends in off.
Oh, fuck. Tim, I Listen, I have a lot of feelings about Tim, but I won't lie to you. That is the fucking funniest thing that man could have said at that point. That is brilliant. 12 stars, Tim. I will.
Doing your own research into the circus and the unknowing. I would like to pool our knowledge. So why don't you archivist me then? Just pull it straight. Because I don't want to. I am not your enemy, Tim. Like that matters. These things aren't human. It's instinct. You can't not.
That means he listened to the tapes where multiple people... I hadn't thought of that! That's brilliant! Oh my god! Do you think that's what he was referring to when he said, I didn't realise I'd left here in such a state? He was like, I didn't realise how shit you all were at taking fucking statements. Jesus Christ! I don't... Oh god, that would have been so fucking funny. He was like, I mean, Martin trying to take a statement. He tried. And to be fair, like, he's just trying to, like, oh god. I really do feel for Tim, but at the same time, I really do struggle to understand why he's so angry now. Like, almost all of a sudden. It seemed to happen very suddenly that he got so angry. And it's just not changed since. And that makes me kind of sad, because it makes his character feel a bit one-dimensional, which is like, I want you to have more dimensions, Tim. You deserve more dimensions. You deserve at least 5. At least, you know? Maybe even 6. But it's not. It's like he went from, like, a jovial bisexual sex man to depressed angry boy in, like, 2 episodes. It was a very quick switch. And it's just not changed since. And it makes me feel sad, because I miss old Tim. And I wish we could get to know... I feel like he's definitely just continually spiraling in his anger. To be fair, the unknowing is not helping. Yeah, no, I get that. But also, I think what makes me sad is the fact that there are chances for him to be talking with people, and he just doesn't seem to be taking them, you know? Because it's like by this point, I mean, obviously, I've been listening to them back to back normally, but I'd assume by this time a fair amount of the time has actually passed, like, in the timeline here. I don't know if it's like it follows real world time, as in, like, say they uploaded every 2 weeks, then 2 weeks has happened between the previous recording and the one that we're seeing, kind of thing, or if it's not as clear cut as that. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like I would have talked to Tim. If I had been there, I would have talked to Tim by now. And I would have been like, Tim, this needs to stop. Like, I understand you are angry. But you cannot be angry forever. Otherwise, it will just destroy you. And then you've let whatever it is win, which is not you. I don't know, honestly. I'm pretty sure this has been going on for, like, more than 5 months. Exactly. So it's like, I understand that they've all got a lot of shit going on, but surely at some point between them, yeah, I get what you mean. There would have been time to talk, because also Tim was being an asshole in season 2. Like, halfway through season 2, he started being an angry boy. This man's been an angry boy longer than he was a bisexual sex fiend. I want my goofy boy back. I don't want him to be naive. Do you know what I would have wanted, what I would have liked for Tim, is that, like, he would have had an angry phase, and then it almost, like, shifted into, like, insane insanity-based like goofiness, where it's like, look, we're all probably gonna die. Like, we get morbid statements on a daily basis. We are dealing with literal feared gods. I'm just gonna have a good fucking time. I'm gonna beat the shit out of the circus. Fuck them. Like, I don't know. He's so angry, and I want him to be more than just angry. Or I want his anger to feel more like it has purpose. Because right now, I suppose it just doesn't feel like it has purpose. Like, you know when you say, like, oh, do you need a tissue? It's like, what, do you think I'm gross? And it's like, no. How did you make that? You know that kind of anger where it's like, how did you get from there to there? They're in different books, my man. Like, how did you make that jump? That's what some of this anger kind of feels like. It feels like it's almost he's angry for the sake of being angry. And I don't like that, because it's like, I don't know. It just makes me sad. I just don't want him to be angry, I suppose. I don't think it's bad character writing. I just don't want him to be angry because I love him. And I want what's best for him. And I'm like, being angry for the sake of being angry is not good for you. It's not bad character writing. It's just, from a human psychological point of view, I don't want it for him because I know it's not healthy.
I'm still me, Tim. I'm still me. You know what? You're actually right, what? You're the only one. Sorry, I don't follow. Tim? Do you know why I avoid the others? You said the tapes. No. How can I be sure who they are? You know how long that thing pretended to be Sasha? And I had no idea. I knew Sasha for years. I don't know Martin as well as I knew her. I barely know what Melanie and Basira look like, or that weird murder cop. How the hell am I supposed...
Sorry. I know we're having a deep emotional moment. But he just referred to Daisy as that weird murder cop. That is the best descriptor of Daisy I've ever heard in my life. And I don't think I could ever refer to her as anything other than that weird murder cop. Okay. I need to give this the seriousness it deserves, because he's opening up. Precise description, 10 out of 10. Right, we need to, because this is Tim is opening up right now. We need to give him the space to do that. We were just saying we wanted him to be honest. So,
no. How can I be sure who they are? You know how long that thing pretended to be Sasha?
why is I did notice this in the first time I listened to this, but why is John going like, oh God, in the back? Is he like suddenly realizing like how bad it is for Tim, and is like, shit, I should have noticed this earlier.
And I had no idea. I knew Sasha for years. I don't know Martin as well as I knew her. I barely know what Melanie and Basira look like, or that weird murder cop. How the hell am I supposed to be sure of any of them, Tim? I didn't realize I didn't think. I'm sorry.
The boys are talking!
There's worms and hallways and clowns, and in some ways it doesn't even register. Like just another spook. But I can't trust them. I'm going to destroy the circus that took my brother, and I can't trust them to help. And me? Well, if you're trying to spy on us, you're doing a pretty shitty job. You haven't been here for months. That's not fair. Sometimes I was kidnapped, which is not a good look for a spy.
That's not fair. Sometimes I was kidnapped. Fucking brilliant. Oh my god.
That's not fair. Sometimes I was kidnapped, which is not a good look for a spy, is it? Fine.
Adding this to the top
You're
10
a
John
spy too,
quotes.
aren't
You should.
This place loves you too much to let you get swapped. What about Elias? Surely he's the same. Oh yeah. Great idea. Let's just all trust Elias. Point taken. Screw it.
Screw it.
I know where they're doing it.
Whoa!
The ritual. And I think they're almost ready.
Whoa!
Right, where? The House of Wax in Great Yarmouth. Oh, I thought it might be there. But the others, we couldn't find any evidence of movement or, well, life. I had to wait almost 2 weeks. But it's there. Why do you think they're doing it so soon? Skin. That's what they need, right? They tried to take yours, yes. Well, last week they went on a couple of field trips to a pair of cemeteries. Who did they take? New graves. No flowers. The first had a name on, but no dates, no inscription. George Icarus. I don't know.
What a brilliant last name.
But who was the other? Tim. Gertrude.
No!
Yeah. I thought she was cremated.
They took Gertrude's skin! Oh shit! Oh, that's horrifying. Oh my god. I have a lot of feelings right now. One, yay, the boys are talking and they kind of have a sort of weird agreement going on where they kind of trust each other and kind of hate each other, but it's okay because it's like bonding because like at least they both know that they're not strangers. And Gertrude was skinned. Gertrude was skinned. Oh, God.
Guess not. So they did get an archivist's skin, after all. So, what's the plan, boss? I think you're going to like it, actually. Oh yeah, should be quite cathartic. I just need to confirm a few details. Fine, but you don't cut me out. I won't. I promise. Now, if you'll excuse me. Right. Yes, well, you're not the only one that knows his way around the tunnels, so... 13, 14, 15, 16...
All clear?
Yes, all clear.
Sorry, got a bit lost. Don't know how you find your way around down here.
Practice. You all right, Daisy?
Don't think either of us like it down here.
No, well, no, me neither. It feels...
Empty.
Yeah.
Let it?
Yes.
How long have you had that shirt?
What?
That shirt. You get it in China?
America had to borrow it. There was blood.
Sure. Why? I think either of us like it down here. Why? I'll leave you two alone. I need to have that chat with Elias.
Right. Yes.
I have mixed feelings because I know for a fact that we shouldn't be hearing this because it means Elias can hear this, and if Elias can hear this, that's probably bad because Elias should never hear anything at all ever. But I am glad that Leah can hear it because, like, story, but also, oh no, but like story, but like, oh no. I don't want their plans to be foiled because I heard about it. Because then that makes me the bad guy. I just want to know what's going on. I want to be involved. God. Yeah.
So, how have you been?
Fine. Killing mannequins for lives. And a clown. That's been alright.
Has he said anything about the plan?
No. Is there one?
Sort of.
Oh. That real?
You tell me.
Where did you get this?
Gertrude left it, apparently for this exact situation.
Where did she get it?
I find myself asking that question a lot.
It's like, oh God, oh no, they have no idea, oh God, but also, tee-hee, I'm God. It is exactly like that.
So, this ritual, you're just gonna blow it up?
I mean, as long as you know how to, you can use this stuff?
Yeah, reckon I can.
Daisy sounds very excited.
Sure. Do you have a plan?
We're working on it. You think she's found him by now?
Maybe. Maybe he's not watching anyway.
I feel safer if I think he's distracted. Is the rest of it?
Yeah.
And Martin, he's okay with it.
It was
Okay with what?
Yeah. You think it'll work?
No idea. If you can get me up a series of tape.
Oh, yeah.
The Magnus Archives is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Zero Light 4.0 International License.
Today's
yeah, you weren't here at the start. I've said that have you considered trapping the wax museum in a giant aquarium and then freezing it? Yeah, I because everyone knows it. It's like the weird national anthem. So I'm like, now I've got to listen to it every time. And so I can learn it. So I can sing the national anthem with the rest of us. It's quite the mouthful. Have you considered... Okay, I might need you to explain... Have you considered trapping the wax museum in a giant aquarium and then freezing it? Are you suggesting we freeze the wax figures? Just like... Oh, I just got it! Then when you try and touch it, the coal may go, shit! That's a bad idea! Nah, the entire dam. Oh God, yeah. Just pick up the whole building, put it in the ocean, take the whole building to the Arctic, yeet it, and let it become an iceberg. If that isn't motivation to stop global warming, I don't know what is. Because can you imagine it's, okay, we need to stop global warming because if it warms up anymore, then the ice caps will melt and we will release the fear of the of doppelgangers, which includes scary mannequin people that will steal your skin. People would be recycling so fucking fast. It would potentially unburn fossil fuels. It would be so instant. If that was the reason, because some people will be like, oh, that's not true. But if you say, really? I can see them through the glass. That's through the ice. That's how
bloody thin it is, you really want to take the fucking risk? At that point, if you're not recycling, people would be bullying you because they'd be like, oh, so you want us to get killed by mannequins? You want us to get replaced by strangers? Separate your cardboard from your glass. God! Have some damn respect. Just play the Calliope music. That would convince me. Yeah, every year they have like a parade with the Calliope music to be like, this is why we recycle. This is why we save the world. And everyone's like, oh God. I mean, it would be horrible, but it would do the job and the earth wouldn't be destroyed. I honestly cannot think of a better motivator. Beautiful. I should just have my hair like this all the time. I'm pretty sure. Oh, this is actually what my my profile picture is. Is I did this with my hair and then I went, and it's actually a pretty decent photo of me, but I can never replicate just how good my hair looked in that. So. Okay, so here's the plan. Here's the plan, my man. So, I am seeing Lum between the 8th and the 11th. So my plan is I'm not going to listen to any more tonight, but hopefully, whilst they're here, we'll be able to do a stream, and either they can just sit off to the side and be like a faceless voice. But essentially, because I mentioned that, like, you know, when I talk about excluding tags in fan fiction and the fact that I have to exclude so many because there's so many spoilers, one of the ones that took my potential reads from 5,000 to 3,000 was the tag for episode 116. So something tells me that shit's gonna go wham in that episode. And honestly, I think I need the emotional support. So, yeah. And if Lum agrees to it, then hopefully that will be a thing that happens. So, should all go well, I should be streaming again somewhere between the 8th and the 11th. Woo! God, I'm bloody tired, but I'll tell you that for nothing. And I'm sweaty. I need to shower. All right. So hopefully I will see you then, and hopefully you'll get to hear Lum again at the very least. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. I missed you. God, my wee. But yeah, I'm sweating. I need to shower. But I'm so glad that Tim and John talked. I cannot explain how emotionally devastating it was that Tim was just so pissed off at everyone all the time. And I'm so glad that they had like some kind of conversation. It wasn't really good, but it was something. It was a thing. I miss you too. And it just makes me happy, you know. I'm glad that they talked at the very least. But yeah, something tells us will not stay nice for very long. Given how many tags episode 116 has, I have the feeling something bad's gonna happen. But either way, that is another rose a day. That is another problem. That is a problem for a future rose. There we go. That sentence really didn't want to come out, but it did. Not gonna comment on that, but you may be correct. Oh, good. I love when I'm correct. Okay, I'm gonna go shower and sleep because it's late and I need to sleep so I can continue writing my dissertation tomorrow because I have decided to pursue academia, which means I have to do academia. Who fucking knew? No, I'm joking. I love it. But yeah, So I will hopefully see you again soon. And yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's nearly done now. But yeah. Alrighty. All right, cool. I'm gonna go then. Bye bye.